But we'll start with the latest on the catastrophic fire at Notre Dame. Officials in Paris say the structure of the cathedral itself has been saved and preserved as a whole. While the fire spread to one of the two famous bell towers, they have also been spared. Around 500 firefighters battled the blaze for hours and were able to prevent the fire from spreading to the northern belfry. One firefighter has suffered serious injuries, and there are no fatalities. Still, most of the roof of the 12th and 13th century Gothic cathedral has been destroyed, and a spire collapsed after being engulfed in flames. Officials say that the fire started at about 6:45 p.m. local time and roughly around closing time. The exact cause is currently unknown, but French media is quoting the Paris Fire Brigade as saying it is, quote, potentially linked to a major renovation project on the church's spire and its 250 tons of lead. What a disaster. I mean, just watching this yesterday was about as heartbreaking as it gets.
It really was. When we watched the Twin Towers fall, the tragedy was felt not only in the United States but across the world, and it was a body blow. It was a significant
human loss.
Body blow and a great human loss for the world's, at the time, lone superpower. But John Meacham, yesterday, watching this and hearing word of this tragedy spreading, it really felt like a dagger thrust at the heart of Western civilization.
It did. I was, like everybody, I was watching it, trying to think about why it was so disturbing. And I think I finally settled on the fact that this was such an elemental crisis. It's fire and faith, two things that shape us and have shaped us since Prometheus, since we got the fire from the gods to mix our theological worldviews. And the point of a cathedral, the reason medieval Christians built such enormous structures was to make something on earth that would be what they thought of as an icon of the New Jerusalem. It was supposed to make you feel awe. It was supposed to make you feel small in the great cosmology, and that this was the house of God. This was why God was worthy in many ways of worship. And then to have another element from the core of who we are destroy it was this sort of fascinating and unsettling moment in which two things that we revere, don't particularly understand, were fighting with each other.
And Willie Geist, it was just for viewers to just know the background. Notre Dame was actually built on the site of what originally in ancient times was a Roman temple of Jupiter, and then in the 6th century another ancient temple was built. But then, Willie, Notre Dame was built, and it slowly but surely evolved into the great structure that it was. But it had been through so much. For those that haven't followed the history of this extraordinary city or this extraordinary building, it had been through, survived plagues, attacks from radicals during the French Revolution in 1789. It got rebuilt and then once again fell into disarray during the Commune. The Russians occupied this city. Of course, Hitler occupied the city. And it was almost torn down at one point because it was in such dilapidated shape. Perhaps that's why Macron and so many of the French yesterday were saying, we will rebuild it again.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it. Mike and I were just talking about before we came on the air that we sort of surprised ourselves with how we felt about this, how emotional it was to watch this beautiful cathedral burn. And I think it's because of what you just said. It's always been there, you know, since the 12th and 13th centuries. It stood through all the events of history that you described there, including a revolution, including Adolf Hitler and the Nazis occupying the city of Paris for 4 years before American troops came in and liberated it. Michael Beschloss, the presidential historian, tweeted out a photo yesterday that got me, which was the American GIs sitting on their jeeps in front of Notre Dame, having liberated the city from the Nazis. I'm heartened, Mike, by a couple of things: that the crown of thorns, said to have been worn by Jesus on his crucifixion, was saved. We certainly will learn of many others that have been lost. I'm heartened by the fact that 2 French families, including the Arnault family of LVMH, have pledged $350 million already to get this beautiful cathedral rebuilt to this point. But what a scene where you have the chaplain for the Paris Fire Department running into a fire with firefighters to save the crown of thorns.
Yes. It was like you, Willie, watching it, like many millions around the world watching this yesterday afternoon. I was struck by the different reactions I had as the afternoon wore on and the fire built. First, astonishment, surprise at the fire, and then a sense of grief within me about what I was watching. And I was trying to figure it out, and as John Meacham was just speaking about it, it means much more than just the soul of a nation burning, France. It's part of the soul of civilization burning. And I began to wonder, I've been there many times, and you achieve, for people like us, an odd thing, a sense of humility when you go into a cathedral like that. But I began to wonder, are we paying too much attention to what we have today in our present culture at the expense of what we have had in the past? Nearly 900 years of history, faith, civilization in that cathedral. Do we understand what loss means and what we lost yesterday? Or are we too busy paying attention to the immediacy of our culture today to worry and wonder about things that we have right in front of us that we ought to pay more attention to and be more grateful for? And then the symbolism of the day itself. In Holy Week, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Easter Sunday, the resurrection coming, all of it combined for just a mesmerizing afternoon, evening of prayer, hopefully that they could save the cathedral, and it appears that they might be able to save most of it.
Let's hope so.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.